How does it feel to get that news as you're maybe coming off the practice court or whenever you did find out to know that you did make second team All-Rookie?
It's an amazing feeling. Coming into my first season, I never imagined my season to be like this. Never imagined the position I'd be in or to have this much success. So I'm grateful, and I'm just trying to be able to just focus on what we got coming forward, take a step forward.
Derek, Luka gave you a lot of praise after Game 6 on Saturday. What have you noticed? What did you learn about yourself in that series against the Thunder and just in terms of your development? Because you got to, obviously, as you know, pick up things fast when you're heading into a new series now.
I feel like it comes back to my mom's old saying, and this goes back to when I was a baby, but sink or swim. You're going to be in a high intense moment. You're going to be in a do or die moments that you could call it. You're either going to float and stay alive and figure out how to be able to learn and adapt to it, or you're going to sink. You're going to fall to the floor, and no one wants to sink. Everyone wants to be able to stay afloat.
Can you talk about that moment after Game 6 where you're standing on the floor, you're holding your hands up, and you're obviously looking up to the sky? What was going through your mind as that moment was sinking in for you?
I could hear her. She was there. She was jumping on her couch. She was screaming. She was jumping. She was making all the noise that she possibly can. I could feel her looking down on me. I could feel her smile and, her words of affirmation. But at the same time, I could hear her talk about, the couple missed free throws, couple missed buckets, couple turnovers. I could hear that more than anything. My mom's not going to sit there and live on the highness. She's going to more focus on the details and stuff I need to get right.
What are your thoughts, Derek, on going against that big front line that Minnesota has to offer?
I feel like it's been a long year. Looking back to Dubai, back to now, it's funny how we're playing the same team. So now it's just trying to be able to just take what I've learned from start to now and just try to incorporate it to every possession and every play of the game.
What are some of the things you've learned since Dubai?
Just being able to be stronger, being able to understand coverages, understand how we're going to be able to rotate, understand how we get out in pace, that we are our best selves whenever we're out in pace, and to try to be able to just try to find a little holes in the defense. No matter if I'm getting the shot, no matter if Luka, Kai, PJ, anybody getting the shot, we're just trying to find the right shot to make the right play.
It is kind of a unique roster size-wise, but you did just get finished playing. Chad, how different is it? What changes for you?
I got to be able to be more sound whenever there's he's been multiple time defensive player of the year, and they have a lot of size for multiple positions. You got to be able to learn, got to be able to adapt, got to be able to find the holes in what they have in the defense, and just be able to try to come out on top.
Did you happen to notice, did you see the other 9 guys on the all-rookie teams?
Yeah, I did notice.
Did you happen to notice that you're the only one still playing?
Yeah. They're going to look at the beginning of the season, during the regular season, of, who was making the most noise, who had the most eyes in them. But, no matter if I'm making noise, no matter if I have 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 blocks, 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 blocks, 0 assists, I just want to win. That's all it's going to come down to. It doesn't matter if I'm first team All-Rookie, first team NBA. I don't care about all that. I just want to be able to win games, be able to go out there and get the dub.
You shared on Instagram your thoughts on the second team, and just the Mavericks in general haven't been picked as the favorite to win this series. They're already talking about who's going to win the NBA Finals. As a team, how does that feel for you guys to just constantly be the underdog?
Nothing new. No matter if you look at, people thinking who's going to win the series, no matter if you look at Luka's MVP race, you look at me, second team All-Rookie, it doesn't matter where they're going to put us, no matter what label they're going to put on us, no matter where they're going to put us, we're going to just try to do our best to claw our way out, make a noise, and just show the world who we are.
It hasn't been terribly common, maybe at all, for you and Daniel to be on the floor together. Do you foresee any of that potentially changing in this series because they can run so many bigs out there at the same time?
Potentially. We'll see. We're really going to come down to be able to see what works on the floor. We got to be able to know that, if both of us on the floor, who's going to help us when we step off the floor. So, we got to be able to know that we have a lot of great guards, we have a lot of great wings, we have a lot of great forwards who could also step up to the plate. So no matter if that's me and Gafford on the floor, or me and the floor, or Gafford and the floor on the floor, we're all going to give it to our best shot.
What makes Rudy such a good shot blocker? You just hanging out there?
I would say his timing, his positioning, his arm length, and his being able to just understand who's coming. If they're going to come down the lane and you're a right-hand finisher, he's going to sit in your right hand, knowing that you're not going to go to your left. Or if he knows that you have a lot of athleticism, he's going to meet you one step earlier so you can't blow it up as far. So just being able to know that he's been doing this for a lot of years is going to make it that much harder, but it's going to make it that much more fun to learn.
So since Kyrie goes left and right, he can't block Kyrie's shot.
Good luck. I've been trying to figure out how to block his shot all year, and I haven't had that much success. So just being able to know that we have Kyrie Irving there, he's going to make him think. So that's where I'm going to try to find a little holes in the defense. Yeah.
Dereck, it's obviously your rookie season and you have a lot of career left, but do you think about how much you're already inspiring the next generation of hoopers?
Honestly, it's kind of funny. I've chipped in at my old AAU team. I hear old stories about people playing basketball, and they're asking coaches to reach out to me to come back. Old high school, old middle school teams all reaching out, old AAU teams. It's just kind of carrying the torch. I remember when I was in their shoes looking up at the NBA, thinking about how far away it is. Now I'm here. So just being able to know that, you got to be able to turn your dreams into realities no matter how many people tell you no or you can't. You got to be able to keep moving forward.
How have you been able to stay centered in all of this through the highs and lows and the emotions of just the entire season and everything that has come with for you now being in this moment now?
I would say my team. I wouldn't be able to walk around with a smile on my face without my team. Wouldn't be able to get up and come to work every day without, having my team with me, having my family with me. They all have their own personalities, they all have their own lifestyles, but whenever we come together, we have fun, we smile, and we got each other's backs, man. Just being able to have that is I'm grateful for that, but now I've realized how much you truly needed in the team to be able to just be together, have positive talk, and being able to just try to back each other up. Some people might not have their best games, but you might have your best game, but you still got to uplift your teammate.
It's a cool time to be a sports fan in this city. What do you think about you and the Dallas Stars both being in the
I need to go to a Stars game. That's what I've been thinking for a long time, but it seems like our schedules never really line up. But, it's great to see that the city of Dallas is as lively as could be. So it's funny because, I'm able to look down at the American Airlines and I can tell when there's a hockey game versus when there's a basketball game. So just being able to see either the Mavs blue jerseys or the Dallas Stars green walking by, it just makes it know that you got your city on your back.
Dereck, you finished the season. You finished the season on a high note. Last series on a high note for sure. Would you say when they did the hack a shack on you, did that give you a little extra motivation, maybe a personal challenge?
Yeah, you could definitely say that. And it wasn't even a challenge from them. I heard my mom in my ear and said, if you miss it, you suck. So you got to be able to just step up and make those easy shots. If they're going to give you free shots, you got to be able to make them. So whenever you miss them, it just makes you just want to get in the gym and work on it that much more. So yeah.
How are you feeling physically? And did you hit the wall? Because the college season.
Man, I hit the wall when the season started. November. I probably hit the wall December, January. Let's be honest. But it's basketball. You can get tired. You're going to be tired mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, with all the things going on, with all the media going on. If you go outside, no matter if you want to be seen or not, it's kind of hard because you are labeled as a basketball player. You're a basketball player. So you might not have your best game. You might have a great game, but you always got to be able to move on. You got to always be able to just put one foot in front of the other. And I feel like that's been one of the biggest things that I've been focusing on this year, because it's really hard whenever you are so focused in the moment to try to move past the moment. But you got to be able to, because that's life.
When the crowd yells stars during the national anthem for your games, you know the significance of that, right?
You tell me why.
Because that's they're mimicking their Stars fans' brethren when the Stars are in the building. So.
I definitely had a sneaking suspicion, but I didn't want to guess. But that's definitely what I thought it was.
Thank you, guys.
Perfect. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Dereck.
Daniel, what's your thoughts on going against that big front line that Minnesota has on?
It's going to be another challenge that we got with these series that we've just been playing through, with the Clippers series and this recent OKC series. It's just that next step, taking it to just like what team we want to be. We got to make sure we come out and just be as physical as possible and just make sure we take care of the things that we need to take care of and be poised in areas that we need to be poised in, I would say. It's not going to be an easy series at all. Like you said, they got a big front line. At the end of the day, we just have to go in and make sure we pay attention to detail and just like play through our principles.
What is it about Rudy that makes him such a good defender?
With just how, he defends spaces, in all honesty. He's real good at making sure he gets guys to take the shots that they want, well, like he wants them to take at the end of the day, and just make sure he contests on the back end when it comes to just like those shots. Just watching the game last night, just seeing some of the things that he was doing, for sure it's going to be, a lot of things that he throws at us that we're going to have to adjust to, but I feel like we'll be pretty ready for that at the end of the day.
The last time the Mavericks played, it was before the trade deadline.
Mhm.
So how does that change the game for you and PJ Washington?
I had the liberty of only playing them once this year, so this will be my second time playing them this year. So it's just, like I said, taking that next step. I got a chance to go against Rudy and Cat and all those guys when just in the middle of the regular season, I think, and it was for sure a rough game. Going against Rudy under the basket, Cat driving down the basket, just, defending multiple areas at one time is just something that was challenging, just where I, was at one point before. But I feel like that with the growth that I've had coming to this team, I feel like I've taken that step in the right direction. I'm pretty sure PJ feels the same way. At the end of the day, we're going to come out, we're just going to give 110% going against, another great team trying to, go for the big picture at the end of the postseason. And that's one thing that we're going to do is just make sure we go out and just give all effort on the floor and just really just come out and try to throw that first punch.
In a lot of ways, you were brought here to help with the size of this team, to deal with a team like Minnesota. What does that mean to you, knowing that this moment is now here, you have a chance to be able to make your imprint on this series against a team like this?
I mean, I'm excited. It never goes, a day never goes by where I'm not excited to just be able to play another game of basketball. Every day isn't promised, and every time you step out on the floor, it's not promised to. I don't want to be that guy that just comes out and it's like, I'm timid, I'm frigid, and just not excited to just be in the position that I am in today. I I give my thanks to the man upstairs because, I couldn't have been in this position. I could be home right now. So just thinking on that, I'm going to give pretty much all effort that I can to just be able to, make the best of everything when it comes to this series and the series, ahead. But it's just one game at a time and just having patience with it. Like I said, just poise and just being ready for the next thing.
Daniel, how cool is it to see Dereck Lively appreciated for his efforts by getting named to the second team All-NBA rookie team?
Oh, that's great. I mean, it's always good to have some type of achievement like that, to have in your back pocket. I heard him talking today. He wanted to be on the first team, but, at the end of the day, anything really, you can take anything. At the end of the day, with me, just with all the awards and stuff like that, I just see it as just like all the regular season awards. I feel like we should wait until just like the postseason when it comes to those awards. But at the end of the day, they're gonna make their decision. I really can't make too many changes. I'm not the big dog. But yeah, man, I'm happy for him. He, from just the things that I've seen that him doing, just like when I first got here throughout the regular season, the first time I got a chance to play against him and stuff like that, I saw that he was going to be, one of those guys that was going to be dominant when it comes to defensively inside the paint. And at the end of the day, he's learning his position more and more as the days go by. And like I said, pretty much when I harped on him all the time when you guys talked about when I first got here, he's real mature for his age. And just like all the stuff that he's been through, I just want to make sure I'm one of those guys that is always right there behind him, pushing him to be the best that he can be, because he's doing the same for me.
You said he's learning the position even more so. Do you think that played a role in his great Game 6 performance?
Oh, yeah, for sure. At the end of the day, he just, took everything that we kind of, was working on when it came to just like the practices or any time that we went to the gym at night, just all of those things. He just kind of had patience with it, and he just trusted just like his work ethic at the end of the day, and he finished everything around the rim. I told him at the end of the game, last game, I just told him to go out there and be a monster, grab every rebound at the end of the day. He was out there, you're the same height as Chet. Go out there and grab every board over him, and that's exactly what he did. I'm proud of him. He just went out there, put his head down, and he worked.
You're a long, long, long way from old, but what's it been like for you to be around him, a younger guy, sort of going on his first NBA journey?
Just really just kind of like using my experiences, for an example at the end of the day, which I haven't got a chance to really just use most of my experiences because I really wasn't playing that much, my first year and a half, I would say, because of the simple fact was trying to take that next step in my career, and I feel like I took a lot of stuff for advantage. So I always just try to remind him, always keep your head up and just keep working, because like I said, every day is not promised. The ball can always stop bouncing sooner or later. And then, like I said, he's been through a lot of stuff. Just trying to be there for him and keep him motivated is something that everybody on the team wants to do. Keep him encouraged, keep him just coming out night in, night out, and just dominating.
And how much does their size sort of put the focus on the two of you guys and your roles and your importance in this series?
One thing for sure, we got to make sure we stay out of foul trouble and just really just stay patient. At the end of the day, we're not going to keep them from, scoring points, but staying to our tendencies and just sticking to our principles defensively is something that's going to help us out throughout this series.
You two don't really play at the same time, really ever, and I don't even think that's necessarily going to change in this series, even given the fact that so what does that look like for PJ? What does that look? How do you guys combat that? Because they have the ability to run them both out there at the same time. How do you guys deal with that?
Just being there for each other. In all honesty, they're going to throw a lot of stuff at us that I'm pretty sure like some guys aren't used to, but majority of the guys are used to at the end of the day. So we have a game plan, and we're going to pretty much stick to it.
When you were here at first and you had your first press conference, you talked a lot about Dallas and what the city means to you. Now you've added some success to it. Is it even more special now, more surreal than the day that you came here?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I was welcomed here with open arms, in all honesty, and just the excitement from when me and PJ got traded here. I mean, it was just love from day one, and it's still that at the end of the day. We just keep going, and we got the whole city behind us, supporting us, and I really appreciate it, and it's going to help us, make a push like throughout the rest of the series and just for the series to come.
In that vein, you guys and the Stars are giving this town quite a thrill right now. What is it like to be at the center of this moment for Dallas sports as a whole with both you and the Stars going deep?
I mean, it's just dope just to see just like both of us be in the same position right now. I've always seen just like, certain teams have like their, football team, hockey team, all of that, just kind of like be in the same position or just be in the same vicinity of just like success, in all honesty. So just actually being a part of it is something that, I dream of as a kid, something that you would never think that you'll think on as a kid, but now that you're in a position of thinking about it, it's just like, wow,
So the first time you heard the really loud Stars during the national anthem for one of your games, you knew what the significance of that was, right? Why they were yelling that?
No.
You did
I
not?
did not, no.
Okay, so they do that. Have you been to a Stars game?
I have not yet. I want to go though. I do want to go, but time is really just something that I don't have much of right now.
So
Well, you've been busy?
Yeah, it's pretty much trying to get rest. My job every now and then.
So both times they say Star on the national anthem.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying now. Yeah, most of the time, whenever I hear that, I'm usually in the middle of a prayer. But I do get what you're saying though. I've had paid attention to that. I think the first two home games that we had against the Thunder, that last series, I paid attention to.
Yeah.
That was dope. So that's what that meaning is.
Yeah, so like for your all's games, when the season starts, like maybe one or two people. But then if the Stars are playing well, as the season goes on, you can hear it a little more. And then when the playoffs hit, I was kind of like, wow, okay, that one was loud.
Yeah, that's dope. Learn something new every day. Look at that.
Daniel, you're for sure give your flowers to the players type of guy. You even went to your own Instagram and posted a carousel of your favorite photos of teammates. Outside looking in, it looks like this team has a ton of team chemistry inside the locker room. What's that like? What's it like to see Kyrie Irving speak up so much? What's it like to see Luka and Kyrie lean on each other so much, and just the brotherhood that you guys have this season?
It's great, because I would say, been through a decent amount just from what I've seen when I first got here. We went through the slump that we did during the regular season. We were trying to figure that out. And any other team that I feel, has been in that situation, I feel that could have taken a step back, pointed the finger, blamed each other, argued, and just let frustration set in. But we found ways to kind of like make a step in the right direction and just get over that hump, in all honesty. And every time we've been in that position mentally, we've always found ways to do that as a team. So we always stuck together. We always found ways to encourage each other. If there's guys sitting down on the bench, even though you can celebrate while you're sitting down on the bench, we want guys to stand up. We always try to make sure everybody's included because that makes everyone else feel good at the end of the day, because you feel like you have somebody on the sideline cheering for you and you got somebody on the court cheering for you. So it's just we're taking that step in the right direction just to be that team we want to be by building our chemistry from the inside out.
You'd love Theo Pinson.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Daniel.
Your early thoughts on Minnesota? Are you a little surprised that they're the opponent, having knocked off the defending champs?
No, not surprised. They're a very good team, well coached. Chris is he's one of the best coaches in this league, and Micah has stepped in to help. You can see how good their coaching staff is. But we got to see them in Abu Dhabi, and we thought they were one of the best teams in the league then. And They've shown that on the road in Denver, winning Game 7. So, not surprised. They got a really good team, and this is going to be a tough opponent.
Jason, I guess a two-part question here. Typically going into a playoff series, how common is it that a lot of the prep is looking back on games you played in the regular season against your new opponent? And in this case, with Luka and Kyrie barely playing, and I think they played all the games before the trade deadline, how useful is it to even go back and look at those games that you guys played?
Yeah, it's kind of similar to the Oklahoma City. We didn't have pretty much the team that we have today. So we'll still watch the video. We still have prepped for Minnesota. We started that today, so with film and practice on the floor. So just looking at their tendencies, looking at their past series. Again, defensively, they're one of the best teams in the league. Offensively, if they get out in transition, they're as good as anyone. And then Ant's playing at an MVP level right now, and so they got guys that can score the ball. Cat, and then Conley is the glue. He keeps those guys together, and so this is a great test for us. It's going to start in Minnesota. The first two are there, so we got to find a way to try to get a win.
Coach, what stands out to you about Anthony Edwards and not just his play on the court, but the leadership that he has with his team right now?
Yeah, I think when you look at Ant, just his ability, to command leadership at 22, that's pretty special. His talent, his smile is infectious. You just look at he has all the qualities, and he is a star in this league. But again, his teammates trust him, and they should. He's one of the best players in the world, but I think he is built to be a leader in this league, and he's showing that here in the playoffs.
This series is going to be cast, at least by some, as Ant versus Luka. What do you think of the prospect of that matchup and just the way that their two games maybe, I don't know if they mirror each other, obviously, because they're very different styles of players, but two players that are both kind of becoming the face of the league.
Yeah, I think when you look at the star power, you got plenty of stars in this series, and so just understanding Ant, he's a star in this league, and also Luka is. So I think that's how it's going to be built, but also I think as we know, it's going to be what role players play the best in this series. That gives that team the advantage, and hopefully we're that group.
What's unique about Jaden McDaniels as an on-ball defender?
His length, his ability to move his feet. He has great hands, and then his want. He wants to play defense, and so he's one of the best defensive guys. Luka and Kai have gone from Dort to now McDaniels, and it doesn't get any easier. So we're going to have to figure out how to get those guys shots without McDaniels on them.
It wasn't too long ago that it was Towns' team that he's had to kind of adjust to Ant being the number one guy. How have you seen his game and his career kind of evolve through the years?
Yeah, I think he's been there 9 years, it's amazing how time flies. But Ant's ability to score, being drafted, just understanding being in the lottery, they've gotten better with Ant, and Ant's game complements Cat's game, and vice versa. So when you talk about whose team it is, it's kind of a funny phrase, but it's you can see Ant is giving praise to Cat, and Cat's giving praise to Ant. So I think when you talk about great teammates, they play together at a high level. That's up to them to decide whose team it is, but they're just trying to find ways to win right now, and they're doing that at a high level.
Have you thought about watching Finch from the sideline? Have you thought about what it would be like to coach while sitting down behind the bench all game?
That'd be tough. That's tough. Finch has done it at a great. The accident happened, unfortunately, but. Again, as I mentioned, it talks about their staff and Micah being able to step up and coach in place of Chris. So I think when you look at what they're doing with their head coach behind the bench, that's got to be tough for Chris, but also it's, gives other guys the opportunity to step up, and they have.
Jason, you mentioned that they're number one in the league in defense. What is it about their defense that makes them so tough?
They're long. They're long. You talk about Ant plays both sides of the ball. He's going to play defense and he's going to play offense. And you talk about Gobert and Cat and McDaniels. They're a big team. When you look at their group, Conley's he's not small, but Conley's the smallest one on the floor. And so just looking that they're long, you got to be able. If you're challenging at the rim, you got to know Gobert's going to be there. So this series is kind of similar to the one we just left in Oklahoma City. When you talk about Chet was at the rim. He got quite a few block shots. So we got to understand and respect Gobert at the rim.
Nas Reed's been somebody who's given you guys some issues. What kind of challenges does he present in this series? How well he's been with being the sixth man of the year?
Yeah, he's given everybody issues. He's one of the better players in this league. Sometimes he goes under the radar because of the star power with Minnesota. But he does his job at a high level, and he shoots the three. Also, again, he can put the ball on the floor, and so it's kind of, to be that big, and he plays like a guard. So he gives everyone trouble, not just us, but for us, we got to be able to make him uncomfortable at the three-point line. We can't just give him freebies because he's shooting it at a high rate.
Gobert's on a different team now, obviously, and you guys have a lot of different pieces, but are there things you can take from the series against the Jazz in terms of attacking him?
It's two different teams, and they're playing two different defenses. So we'll see if we can get them in different places on the floor. But 90% of the time he's by the rim, so we got to figure out how to get him away from the rim to give our opportunities, our scorers, a clean look at the basket. We'll try to move him. He will get up and double team sometimes, so we got to be alert of that too. But from Utah to here, it's two different defenses, and so we gotta. We'll see if we can manipulate to get him to move away from the basket at some point.
Maxey was obviously huge in that series a couple of years ago, and Clipper series. Any kind of progress report on him?
Still out. Look good today though.
On the treadmill?
Yes.
How much does his absence make a difference with the size that the Timberwolves bring to this series? How much does it hurt not to have that Maxey option among your options on the bench?
Yeah, next man up. We've done it already in one series. We're going to have to do it again until he comes back. But that gives other guys the opportunity to step up, and we truly believe everyone in that locker room is going to, hold it together until he gets back.
Any shot at late this series, or still too early to say?
He looked good on the treadmill. So that's as far as I can give you an update on Maxey.
You guys, there's only 5 players still left from the 2022 team. But I asked this of Luka the other day. Is there anything that could be learned from the experience of being in the conference finals 2 years ago? To me, there was almost a sense of there was a gladness to be there because it was a big attainment for the franchise, first time in 11 years. That maybe you guys approach, not that you didn't try in that series, but that maybe there was a little bit of exhale. Is there anything to be gained from the 2012?
Yeah, experience is always important, but sometimes we do put a lot, maybe a little bit too much on experience. We didn't have any experience going into the second round. We'll have very little experience going into the Western Conference Finals. So, we have rookies. We have guys who've been in the league who have not, been this far. So, but we can learn from that losing to Golden State. They ended up winning the championship. There were some close games, but yes, sometimes you are happy or satisfied to achieve something that you haven't done. But hopefully we can use that to understand that we still have work to do and that there's only 4 teams left. And we want to be one of the last 2 standing. But we're playing against a very talented Minnesota team, and we just got to focus on game 1 and execute the game plan and hopefully put ourselves in a position to win.
Sorry if I missed this because I was outside, but You said you've communicated with Rick off and on through the playoffs. Have you communicated with, since both of you guys got to the Final Four?
Yeah, he texted me. I owe him a text now. I was a little busy, but I will send him a text today. And I know he's busy because it's a quick turnaround for them playing Boston tomorrow. But it's incredible what he's done with Indiana to be able to go to Game 7 in New York and to win on the road. He has his group playing at a high level.
Did it strike you as you, after they got in, that now both of you guys are in the Final Four and you played for the guy?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think Rick is one, if not one of the best coaches in this league, and he's taken a group now to Eastern Conference Finals. Going to Game 7, but he's done an incredible job with that group, and they're fun to watch. They score a lot of points.
How crazy is it that for the 5th consecutive year there's going to be a new NBA champion? There will not be a repeat.
Oh, the league loves it. It's great. It's great for the league. I think, I thought I saw a question today about is there any more dominance? Is there ever going to be another dynasty? With player movement and the league being so young, we'll see. But it's great that gives everyone the opportunity that they truly believe that they can win a championship at the starting line of this marathon. And you have 4 left. Probably only one was really talked about, as having a legit chance of winning a championship, and that would be Boston.
Jason, what are your thoughts on not only you guys, but the Stars both going to the conference finals in the same year for the first time?
Incredible for the city, for the sports fans, for the Stars fans, and for the Mavs fans. There's going to be a lot of things sold in the stadium. A lot of water is going to be sold, so it's going to be an incredible time here in Dallas. I think it's great for the fans and for the city. It's going to be busy downtown.
We've seen both Derek and PJ make such an impact for you guys in terms of perimeter defense, Kyrie as well, but for those two in particular, the challenge of SGA, the challenge of Ant, is there any parallel? Is there any similarity there that they can draw on? How does the job change now?
Doesn't change. Shea and Ant are talented scorers, so it doesn't change in the sense of being able to exhale. You got 2 guys who can flat out score. Ant's ability to get downhill and finish at the above the rim, so you got to get to him early. Shea's, as you saw in our series, a great scorer, and then Ant's ability. He will shoot the 3 a little bit more than Shea did in our series, so we got to be able to guard him behind the 3-point line and then also guard him before he takes off.
We'll take one more question.
Along those same lines, Gafford and Lively, we've asked you a lot about them. What changes for them? How important are they in a matchup where there's as much size on the other side?
It's big because normally we've been small, so it's great to have the ability to come back in with another 7-footer, especially with Maxey out. And so it's great to be able to have it again. What Lively did in Game 6 here, the ability to rebound and guard, and then also give us second opportunities, and then to be able to finish was big time. So we're going to need both of those guys to be able to control the paint, be able to rebound, and then also we're going to need them to score.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, guys.